All right, Schlockmeister fans, from the Amityville Horror Trilogy Blu-ray box set, we're gonna watch the first film, the Amityville Horror. Let's check it out. The movie starts out with some gunshots. We then find out that a man had gone in there and killed his whole family. A few years later, the Lutzes are moving in.
Just a couple of minutes.
James Brolin and Margot Kidder play George and Kathy Lutz. As they tour the house, we're treated to some flashbacks.
I just wish that all those people hadn't died here. Like, a guy kills his whole family.
Priest comes by, I think to bless the house or something. He confronts a bunch of bees or flies. So in addition to the priest hearing the words "get out," strange things occur around the house too. Little accidents and things. And other things like rocking chairs rocking on their own. George is getting moody too.
Don't ever do that. Not to a man with an axe in his hand.
Apparently there's some plumbing issues too.
Look,
A nun stops by and freaks out
I'll
too.
make you a cup. I have to go. I really feel terrible.
Oh, what the hell's the matter with me?
Boner problems.
Silly, this happens all the time.
Well, not to me, it doesn't.
Hey.
Priest on the road. Guess they end up crashing, although neither one of them is that damaged. Even the babysitter is not immune.
Unlock the door. You heard Jackie knocking?
Jody wouldn't let me.
I happened to check into the murders, and I checked into the 20-year-old boy who killed his parents and his 4 brothers and sisters. And when he was at trial, he testified that he heard voices in the house. He heard voices in the house, and the voices told him to do it. Now,
George getting tested again.
Covered that.
And some guy from the IRS has been calling.
Don't you have any good news?
What are you two rascals doing in my room, huh?
Yet another accident. More creepiness.
You've got a door that was broken out with Mr. Lutz from the inside. Burglars break in. You've got a front door that's broken out.
She tells me things too.
Yeah, like what does she tell you, huh?
She tells me about the little boy who used to live in my room. He got hurt.
Well,
Guess who George looks like.
Jesus, I'm sorry. You look just like that kid. You know, he was sitting right in that seat where you were when he was arrested.
Kathy goes to check out the window and look!
climbed up the ivy. I mean, it's all over the side of the damn house.
Trying to explain the eyes she saw.
Kathy, I don't have all the answers yet.
A woman comes over, she's like a psychic or something.
That's where it is.
What the hell are you talking about?
There are people buried here.
Sure enough, George breaks through the wall, and there's something on the other side.
it's the passage to hell.
priest has a reaction to the church, too. Which has immediate effects.
I can't see. I'm blind. I'm coming apart.
George is a mess.
God, I'm coming apart.
Kathy goes to the library to look at microfilm about the murders, and when she sees a picture of the killer, it's like George. It's now their last night in the house, and George has an axe and he's trying to get into the kids' room. And now the walls are bleeding. George comes to his senses. They manage to escape the house, but then they realize they forgot the dog. George goes back in the house to find the dog because he's super dad. He falls into a pile of goo. He manages to get out of that with the help of Harry, no less. Harry get out, we learn that they never came back to pick up their belongings, and they now live in another state, another house somewhere. All right, let's talk about the Amityville Horror. I've seen this movie a long time ago, and I've seen it multiple times over the years. Saw it several times in the 80s. I think this is one of those movies that actually would show up like on like the NBC Movie of the Week, and I saw it before we even had cable in the very early 80s. We got cable in March of 82. Then when it showed up on cable a couple times, and ended up taping this movie. It's probably in the first 100 movies that I ever taped back in probably early of 1985 or so. I also had the sequel, Amityville 2, The Possession, and then Amityville 3. Actually, it's called Amityville the Demon. That's how I originally had it off cable. But anyway, I digress. The first story is it's based on a book that came out 2 years earlier. This movie came out in 79. Book came out in 77. It's about the Lutz family, who were real people, who lived in this house where 3 years earlier, some guy named, I think, Ronald DeFoy or something like that, I think he was like maybe 20 years old or so. He killed his like parents and his brothers and sisters, killed everybody in that house. And then when the Lutzes moved in, they thought it was haunted and things happened, so they got the hell out of there. And that's basically what this movie is. The Margot Kidder and James Brolin, they're Mrs. and Mr. Lutz. They moved into their house with their 2 kids. And I think it's 2 kids, or is it 3? I'm not sure, 2 or 3. I think it was 2, a boy and a girl. Anyway, and a dog named Harry. And by the way, the boy was played by, whatever that kid's name, Minnie Panucci, I don't know. He was in a lot of things back then. He was in that TV show Voyagers, actually. I think he would also play Tanner on the TV show of the Bad News Bears, and he was in a movie I watched last week called Scout's Honor with Gary Coleman. Anyway, I'm digressing again. So anyway, the Lutz family moves in, and they know the history of the house, and then strange things starts happening. Accidents occur, this and that. A priest comes in at one point and hears a voice say, "Get out." And he does. There's a bunch of flies flying around. It almost seems like at one point that George Lutz is being possessed by whatever happened to the guy who killed his family 3 years earlier. The daughter keeps seeing some invisible friend named Jody, who's like a ghost. Maybe Jody's one of the kids who got killed. I'm not sure. But eventually, all hell breaks loose. George does eventually come to his senses. We think at one point he's going to kill his family, but he comes to, they leave the house. This last night, all hell is breaking loose. They leave the house, and one of the kids recalls that they left Harry inside, so they got to go back and get Harry. George goes in. He falls into this well, which feels like it's filled with oil or something, all this black goo. Harry actually rescues him, kind of pulls him out of there, and he managed to get out of the house with Harry. And then the prologue, we learn at the end that the Lutz family never even came back for their possessions. They live in another house today. That is the Amityville Horror. I have the Amityville movies on DVDs. Do I have a box set of those? I think I might have a DVD box of the first year, but now I have a DVD box set of the Blu-rays. So now, as I was looking into this movie, they did make a remake of this movie in 2005, or was it 2015? I'm not sure. It was in the 2000s for sure. And they also have made, I counted on Wikipedia, 44 different films with the word Amityville in them. including the remix. That would make 45 actually. So this thing never ends. I don't know who owns the right to that word Amityville, but they're using the hell out of it now. They're pumping out a new one like every year. There was like an Emmanuel Vibrator movie. I'm sorry, Emmanuel Amityville Vibrator, Amityville in Space. There's even an Amityville and Emmanuel. And I looked that one up because, you know, I collect Emmanuel movies. There's no character named Emmanuel movie, and according to one of the one review I saw, there's no Amityville either. So who the hell knows what's going on with this? But you can't go wrong with the first three movies, even the fourth one, which was made for television, Amityville. I think it was called The Evil Escapes. The first 5 or 6 actually are somewhat legit films, and then they just taper off after that. And they're I don't know where the hell they are now. They're in the weeds somewhere. But anyway, that is the Amityville Horror. I like this movie. The critics do not. If you look at IMDb, it has a horrible IMDb. I'm sorry, not IMDb, a Metacritic rating. It's like 24 or something, which is really, really low. But I think it's a decent film, and people have always liked it. I never heard anything really bad about it, so I don't know what the hell the problem is. But anyway, that is it. The Amityville Horror. Check it out. Leave some comments. I will leave a link to the Blu-ray box set down below there. This box set, when I looked last night, it was going for about $80 on Amazon. You might be able to get the individual. In fact, I know you can get the individual films cheaper than that. So anyway, whatever. Just click down below and get one of them. Check it out. Leave some comments. It's the Amityville Horror, the original. Watch it. Bye.